Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome. We can start with the kirtan. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Can you all repeat? Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone please unmute and sing Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nice. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
One more time.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Very good. So sweet. It's very nice. Today is very, very nice. It's like almost sync. I think we are beating the Zoom already. Okay. So we move to the first glorification sloka slide. So who would like to read? Somebody would like to go first?
Krishna, 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 Krishna.
Kartini Mataji, would you like to read? Kartini Mataji, you are there? You are unmuted. I thought you want to read. Ashwini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Read the English version or both?
Up to you.
Okay. Devaki Nandana Krishno Gita Patena Tusyate Yadana Vedair Danena Yajna Tirtha Vrata Dipti. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows, as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita.
Right, thank you, Mataji. So let's take darshan of the deities of Sri Jagannath Mandir. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vitna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so Gita Mahatma. So earlier I played a video on the descent of Mother Ganga. It's because today's Gita Mahatma verse is touching on bathing in the sacred Ganga. Okay, so is it Kartini Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji, go ahead.
Maline mochanam punsam jala snanam dine dine sakrit geetam vita snanam samsara malanashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Okay, so we started with Gita Mahatmya, and this is the most quoted Gita Mahatmya verse. There's another one also will be highly frequently quoted. So this is another. Generally, the glories of Mother Ganga is a well-known fact, at least among the Indian or Hindus, right, in general. So here, whether it's pandemic or not, it's not very easy to quickly fly to India and take a bath in Mother Ganga, right? However, now the Mother Ganga is flowing here through the words of Bhagavad Gita, and we are not bathing once. Look at this line here. A person who cleanses even once, all right, the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. But here we are bathing every day, all right, 5 days a week. So for 18 days, we're bathing in the Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so you all notice, right, how the Mother Ganga flew from the cosmic ocean, from Causal Ocean, when Lord Krishna took the avatar of Lord Vamana. In between, if the pastime comes in, then I will elaborate further. So when he wanted to measure, he wanted to conquer the upper planetary system, his toe pierced through the ceiling of the universe. All right, so outside is water. It's called Causal Ocean. So that is the water that flowed in as Mother Ganga to earth. Okay, and it was said that the Mother Ganga's force was too strong. It will be too strong. Somebody has to take that impact. If not, the whole earth will be destroyed. So finally, Lord Shiva came forward and he took Mother Ganga's force upon his head. So that's why we see Mother Ganga on his head. Okay. Lord Shiva ki jai. Okay, so we are in the first section. We are going to go in Karma Yoga today, achieving Bhakti through karma work. Okay. So as usual, we want to recap the chapter 2. Okay, it started with Arjuna is having problem in deciding. Okay, what was the options that he had? What was he indecisive about? And okay, try to kindly rename your name. Okay, so it's easy for me to call, and I know when when we generate the attendance, so I can match your names easily. All right, so please put your full name or the name that you registered, so it's easy for us to match. Because for the certification purpose, we need to ensure that the attendance is minimum 80% and completed all the quizzes. Okay, so we need the quiz result to carry your correct name as well as your Zoom. When you log in, the name should be correct. Okay, so what was the indecisiveness about? Who would like to share?
Whether to conquer the Kauravas or to be conquered by the Kauravas.
Very good. Thank you, Suha. Okay, so how Krishna started chapter 2 yesterday? What topic did he open with?
The soul.
Right, the soul. The soul. What does the soul do?
Changes body.
Very good.
Changes
The
body.
soul changes bodies. All right. So it changes like
Changing
Clothes.
garments.
garments. Very nice. What is a covering like dress? So after that, we spoke more on soul. What did we cover? What did we learn?
The quality of souls.
Correct. Various characteristics of soul. Basically, it speaks volume about the eternity of the soul. Okay, so once Krishna finished, these are all Sankhya Yoga, okay, the analytical study between body and soul. So after that, Krishna went into Karma Yoga for a bit. All right, so what was he saying? What was he saying about duties? How do we
Never be attached to not doing your duty.
We should not expect the results, the fruitative results when we do our.
Very good. You have the right to perform your duties, but without expecting the fruits. All right. And then Krishna jumps to Bhakti Yoga. Krishna didn't jump. We jumped the verses. Okay. Because we are at level 1. Should not expect fruit from the duties. Very good. Spot on. All right. And then Krishna, we went to Bhakti Yoga. What verse was it about? What was the verse about when we spoke about Bhakti Yoga? Avoid what kind of activities?
Devotional services,
Okay, by doing devotional services, what can we avoid?
miseries,
Soul miseries.
Before that?
Abominable activities.
Very good. Yes, avoid abominable activities by working for Krishna. So when a person attains perfection thinking that way, he is not affected by
Karma.
not yet.
Miseries.
Yes, how many?
Threefold.
3, 4. Do you all remember?
Adi,
Adi
Daivika,
Okay.
Adhyatmika,
Adi
Adi Bhautika.
All right. So what are these miseries coming? Where are these miseries coming from?
Distress caused by material nature, distress pertaining to body and mind, and distress caused by other living entities.
Okay, very good. Natural disasters. All right. Very nice. Thank you so much. Now, I have a question for you all. What is karma? So feel free to share. What do you think about karma?
Action.
Sorry?
Action.
Action. Okay. Some more?
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect. Yes. Some more? Karma is a very common name. It's a word that we often use in so many contexts. So I'm sure you all have a lot of things on your mind when this word comes up. Karma. What else? What else? Cause and effect.
Action and reaction.
Action, reaction. Anybody has something new to say? Something extraordinary, out of ordinary? No, because we will learn something a bit more on karma today. Okay.
It can be thoughts also, whether good or bad. So,
sorry, Mataji.
it can be thoughts also, whether good or bad.
Thoughts, intentions, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the beauty of Kali Yuga compared to the previous yuga. Today we will talk about karma. Today we will talk about yugas as well. So later on, all right. In previous yugas, an action is counted as sinful when you act. Only when you act, it will be, when you think, it's already considered a sin in previous yugas, in earlier yugas. In Kali Yuga, having the thought itself is not a sin yet until you act upon it. You use your senses to vent it out. Then it is counted as sin. So until it is in your thought, it is not technically a sin yet. So that is the some significance in Kali Yuga. All right. However, thoughts will lead to action. So that way we have to be careful. Okay. So we need to go through this battle and suppress these bad thoughts in that sense. Okay. So there are 3 types of karmas. Okay. One is vikarma. Vikarma means doing action that gives you bad reactions. Vikarma, which means work performed against scriptural directions, basically sinful activities. Basically, it's called bad karma. Vikarma means bad karma that gives you bad reactions. Sinful activities give you bad reactions. Next is karma. Karma is general activities that you do and you get reactions for it. So general material activities. Okay. Karma means devotional activities that will not give us reactions. Basically, when we engage in devotional activities, it will not give us reactions. When you do vikarma, you get negative reactions. All right. When you do good things, right, you do charity, you do good things, generally you get pious credit. So these are good karmas. So you accumulate both. All right. You do bad things, you accumulate bad things. You do a good thing, you accumulate good thing. Pious credit and impious credit. So there are various terms that you can use to refer to this vikarma and karma. Akarma means you do an action, but it will not give you reaction. And Krishna promises that when you do devotional activities, you will not get any actions, because these are the actions that keep us here. Because when you have pious credits, you have to come back and enjoy it. And when you have bad credits, you still have to come back and suffer for it. All right. So if this goes on and on and on, we will be trapped in this material world forever and ever for many million years. We don't know. Okay. So when you do, so basically we want to nullify all these reactions, and the only way to do it is through devotional activities, because you are not going to incur any reactions, which is not going to bind you to this material world. Okay, so that's a general concept of 3 types of karmas. Okay, for the purpose of chapter 3, Krishna will talk about karma yoga. Karma yoga, another name is Nishkama karma yoga. So there are 2, sakama karma and Nishkama karma. Okay, sakama karma means acting selfishly or with personal gain or self-interest in mind. So this is bad thing, okay, generally. Nishkama karma means is totally the opposite. If sakama karma is acting selfishly, what is Nishkama karma?
Selfless.
Selfless, all right, desireless action. So it's an action performed without any expectation of fruits or results. So this is what Krishna is going to touch on karma yoga. Okay, so with that, we are entering chapter 3. Okay, so in previous chapter, Krishna has given a prelude, like an introduction to the Bhagavad Gita by presenting different topics. He touched on Sankhya Yoga, he touched on Karma Kanda. Actually, he will also explain to Arjuna that if you win, you are going to enjoy the kingdom on earth. All right, so because he said there's no enjoyment, right? Arjuna said, you're going to enjoy the kingdom on earth. If you do not win and you die, you perish in the battlefield, you will go to heavenly planet. So we also have that. The Vedic knowledge, the Vedic culture also has this concept that when you die in war, all right, you will be elevated to heavenly planets. So in both ways, Arjuna, you will enjoy. So this is called karma kanda. That means you are doing an activity for a result. Okay. And then Krishna talks on Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga means intelligence, using intelligence. And then he touched on Karma Yoga, and then he touched on Bhakti Yoga. So everything he gives in a very condensed form. However, Krishna gave them in a pretty unsystematic way. Okay. And Arjuna is a little confused now because he feels that there was so much of information. I don't know how many of you all felt like that yesterday. Oh, suddenly there's so much of information. Chapter 1 was very clear. Chapter 2 become a little technical and become like, oh, everything is like cramped inside. Okay, so don't worry, Arjuna also felt that way. So basically, Karma Yoga means desireless actions. It's about offering the results to God. All right, gradually there will be no personal desire, which will lead to no bondage. Okay, all right. I hope my camera is fine. Okay, so this is the last sloka before we ended the class yesterday. All right. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Okay, this is where Krishna touched on Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so here Lord Krishna is establishing the superiority of Nishkama karma over Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means, do you remember what is Karma Kanda? Doing an activity for a desired result. That is called Karma
Selfish.
Kanda. Yes. It's not selfish. That is Sakama Karma. Generally,
Okay.
Karma Kanda means you want to achieve a result and then you engage in certain activity. So these are the guides that are given in the Vedas. Okay, if you want to achieve this, for example, you want to achieve you want to get a good husband or good wife, okay, you do this. If you want to get a good job, then you do this. You want to do you want to get a house, then you do this. You want a child, then you perform all these rites and rituals. So these are the contents of Vedas. So the Veda has this: you can do things to satisfy your desires, but you do it in a regulated manner. Okay, not whimsically or by harming others. So you have to go in certain ways. So these are the guidelines, policies, and manual. These are the Vedas. This is actually a handbook. The Vedas have everything for a man to live in a written manner. Okay, so here Lord Krishna is establishing the superiority of Nishkama karma over Karma Kanda. Of course, Krishna spoke about Karma Kanda. You want to enjoy, yes, you can enjoy, but do it in a prescribed manner. However, better than Karma Kanda is Nishkama karma, which means doing things selflessly or surrendering the result to God. Okay, so these two different things. So you can see the ladder is like going up. Okay, so at this point, Arjuna was thinking, killing is abominable. Okay, Krishna is telling me that I should avoid abominable activities and engage in devotion service. All right, so now I've got an excuse that I don't have to fight because Krishna already said person who engage in devotion service will be avoiding abominable activities. So he thought it will be intelligent for me to avoid these abominable activities at this point. Okay, and when Lord Krishna asked him to fight, then he finds like, why so contradictory now? All right, so hence the question coming in 3.1. Sam Prabhu, we can read.
Okay. Arjuna uvacha jayasya chit karma naste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karma nigore mam niyojayashi kesava. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Kesava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Very wonderfully recited. Okay, so you didn't hear anything, okay? So,
Thank you.
okay, so here, so the application here is that Arjuna is representing us. Okay, sometimes when we know that we are the soul, we will take the shortcut by thinking, we tend to make these two conclusions. Okay, I know that I'm a soul now. I must abandon all my material duties. I must give up my societies, my relationship, my commitments, everything. And I need to go somewhere secluded and practice spiritualism, something like that. All right, and then we conclude that all material activities lead to bondage. Oh my God, I'm going to have reactions for everything that I'm doing. All right, because we have that knowledge. The knowledge is not well applied. All right, I'm going to avoid incurring karma by giving up all my activities. So these are the conclusions that we tend to make when we have this knowledge, that we are the soul, we are not the body. So oftentimes spirituality or Krishna consciousness is understood as inertia, means not doing anything. All right, we have this misunderstanding by withdrawing ourselves to retire to a secluded place to become fully Krishna conscious by chanting the holy names. All right, so you're going to meditate on this holy name, so I'm just going to escape to a cave or mountain or forest. However, without being properly trained in the philosophy, okay, we have very immature understanding of this renunciation. Okay, so when we immaturely retire from this active life, this penance and austerity will not be effective, because let's say we withdraw to let's say Arjuna goes to some Himalayas and then he meditates there, but he'll be thinking, what happens to the war, what happened to my children, what happened to my wife, what happened to the kingdom. So the mind is still attached to the material activities, so the mind is not purified yet, it is not ready yet to go for renunciation. Okay, so now Krishna is saying engage in devotion service, but at the same time fight. So he couldn't understand that. Okay, so and he's going to ask further question. I mean, he's going to say something further. 3.2, Ashwini Mataji.
Vyamisrineva vakyana putim mohaya sivame tat ekam vada nishchitya yena sreyoham apnuyam. My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Perfect recitation. Okay, so here Arjuna is saying equivocal instruction. So many instructions. Suddenly you say about Sankhya Yoga, suddenly you say about Buddhi Yoga. But Buddhi Yoga means it can be Karma Yoga, it can be Bhakti Yoga, okay, which means working with intelligence. Okay, suddenly you say work without fruited desire, but everything has been presented unsystematically. So now Arjuna is telling, can you please be clear? What should I do, to fight or not to fight? Which one is better? Work better or renunciation better? Okay, so like this kind of conversation will take place in throughout the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna will explain. So it is probably intentionally, maybe Krishna has given the instructions like that unsystematically in chapter 2, so that for our benefit, Arjuna will ask this kind of questions and Krishna will kindly clarify that for us. Okay, he will put it nicely. Okay, so you will see how it goes. Krishna will arrange everything nicely. Finally, in chapter 18, Krishna will give nice summary. Okay, sometimes Krishna will repeat things. Do you understand now? Did you hear it clearly? Is your doubt clear? So like this, Krishna will ask Arjuna. So as a kind teacher, right? Sometimes I have to be upfront with you that Krishna can be pretty heavy in some of the verses in Bhagavad Gita, just like any teachers. If it has to be heavy, then he has to be heavy. But at the same time, he'll be very kind, teaching Arjuna things step by step. Okay. All right. So this is Arjuna's question, and Krishna will answer now. So let's see what is Krishna answering. Brinda Mataji.
Na karmanam anarambhan naskarmanam tinsosuti na cha sanyasateva siddhim samadhikachati. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So what Krishna is telling here? Okay. Haridas. Is it Prabhu? Haridas? Haridas Prabhu, is it?
No, not Prabhu, Mataji.
Mataji. What's
It's
the actual
Haridas,
name?
Haridas Pushpamala. I couldn't put in my full name in. Sorry.
Okay, let me try that. Haridas Pushpamala. Okay. Okay, right. So what do you think, Mataji? What is Krishna answering here? Arjuna asks whether should I work or should I renounce? So Krishna is answering something here. What do you think he's answering? What happens if you abstain from work? What do you do not get?
Mm,
Don't get any results, basically.
Sorry,
Freedom from
Jaya Prabhu.
reaction.
Don't get any result. If you don't put any effort, you don't any results.
If you do not put any effort, you do not get results. Okay, nice. Anybody else?
Akarma.
Akarma. Okay, it means if you don't do work, you don't get reactions.
karma. Karma is devotional service, right?
Yeah, akarma is devotional service, which means no reaction.
No reaction, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Anybody else? What do you think? What is actually Krishna's answering here? Because Arjuna is asking, should I work or should I not work? Because you say, I should avoid abominable activities, so I don't want to work. So actually Krishna is telling here, just because you don't want to do work, don't think that you will not get reaction, because you cannot get perfection by renunciation. Because Arjuna is thinking renunciation is the way to perfection. But Krishna boldly declares here and establishes here is that just by you renunciating this world, don't think that you will get perfection. This is what Krishna is saying here. By merely abstaining from prescribed actions, this action has been given to you, Arjuna. Your duty is to fight. Your duty is not go and meditate in a secluded place. This is your duty. And don't think by you relinquishing your duty, you can get peace. So it doesn't work like that. Okay, you cannot achieve purity or freedom from reaction. You cannot be free. Everything that we do will have reaction. Okay, so by renunciation of activities, one cannot attain perfection or liberation. So this is a very important point, because sometimes people think that, oh, what is material life? I want to, give up everything, and I want to be a sannyasi. I want to go to some, Himalaya. I want to retire there. Yeah. So there is a problem if you do that, if you do not purify the heart yet, because, okay, I'll come to that. But the application here is that see, our hearts are not generally purified because we have a lot of desires. We want to do this, we want to do that. We have so much of ambitions, right? And we cannot be desireless. We cannot say, I want to come to a stage where I do not have any desires at all. It is impossible. All right. But what we can do is we can purify the heart. So to purify the heart of materialistic people like us, all right, prescribed duties are laid down in the scriptures. Like I mentioned earlier, the Vedas have, if you want child, then you do this. If you want job, you do this. So everything has been given in the Vedas, and you have to act accordingly. All right, and then you can satisfy your desires through that. However, it is not going to go on forever like that, because the Vedas is written in such a way that you will be elevated slowly, you'll be elevated to God realization. Okay, because it will not drag you down or drown us. All right. So there is a purpose why Vedas are prescribing all these things. Okay, this is your duty, you have to do it. You're a student, you have to study. You are a worker, you have to do this work. All right. If you're a wife, then you have your duties. Okay. However, one can accept the renounced order of life. Renounced order of life means the sannyasa that I'm talking about. A person can accept sannyasi life if he has been purified by discharging of duties, not by not discharging duties. All right. A person, can you see how amazing it is? You will be purified by discharging your duties. If you're a father, you discharge your duties nicely, then you are purified. If you're a student, you discharge your duties nicely, then you are purified. This is what Krishna is saying here. All right? By not doing it, you will not get purified. Okay. So if a person, so now I'm coming back to what happens if you don't. All right. If a person with impure heart, if your desires are not purified, they renounce the prescribed activities. Okay, I want to leave everything, I want to go. So if he does that, all right, this is called karma sannyasa, which means he's not fully purified. All right, he's not a true sannyasa. Gradually, later on, eventually, he will revert to material actions. Somehow he will go back to the material action, because we cannot remain inactive. We always want to do things. That is our nature. The soul is always does things, always engaged in things. Okay. So that is how material life is. All right. A person cannot remain inactive. So that's why it says that it is impossible for us to go to a secluded place and stay there in inert mind. So inertia is not for us. Okay. Right. So this is what happens. Premature renunciation is discouraged because inaction is unnatural. We cannot do that. Okay, so Arjuna thought, okay, I want to avoid killing, so I'm going to go somewhere. But he doesn't realize that even when we walk, even when we're sitting, we don't know how many living entities that we are killing. When we are walking, we don't know how many ants we are stepping on. So it is impossible for us to say that I don't want to do anything so that I don't get any reactions. So it's impossible. When you're breathing, my grandma used to say, because I thought one day I saw some little bug on my plate and I made a big hoo-ha about it. Then my grandma said, why you're being so overreactive? Because when we breathe in one mute insects. You see like that. What? I went like that. So there's a lot of living entities in the air. So even if you're sitting, you're seemingly not doing anything, you're breathing in a lot of things, you're destroying a lot of things. So karmic reaction is going on and on and on. It's forever, whether you realize it or not. Okay, even when you're sitting, as like I say, we don't know whether how many ants we are stepping on. All right. So it's impossible to be inactive. Inaction is not natural. However, you can satisfy your desires in a religious way, but those who are attached, okay, to this life will be purified. So basically, to put in perspective, we need to try to work without desiring for results. However, this may not be possible for everybody. Therefore, the alternative is given that you can work with desires, but to be based on prescription in scriptures, which means like you can surrender some of the results to temple or do some spiritual activities with your earnings, or you set your consciousness. Remember, the work has to be done. Later we will see work has to be done as a sacrifice to the Supreme Lord. All right. However, the bottom line is that you cannot give up. Don't give up actions completely. Okay, because you're going to come back to that later, and it will lead to sinful reactions. That's why sinful activities. That is why sometimes we see bogus gurus in the picture. They will put on show that they are sannyasis, but later on is either at the back they are engaged in abominable activities, or they cannot stay forever as sannyasi. They will fall down. All right. They will engage in illegal things, womanizing, and some other funny things. And when people who are inclined spiritually, when they land in wrong hands like them, they are cheated. So this is a disturbance to the society. This is what premature renunciation do to people. Okay, because they are not purified. Okay, premature renunciation carries no benefit. Okay, so understand that. Now Krishna already said work is better than renunciation, because when you renounce prematurely, when you are not ready, then it's futile. It has no benefit. Okay, so now he's going to speak more on duty 3.8. Ishwari Mataji. Mataji. Unmute Mataji. Ishwari Mataji, are you there? I think she practiced it. Okay, I think I have to fill in for her. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jyayo hya karmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasidhyet akarmanaha. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. Okay, one cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. See how Krishna is so practical. Okay, we need to survive, and to do that we need to earn money, and to do that we need to work. All right. So Krishna says,
Sorry?
Yes, Mataji, you're back.
No, I actually forgot to on the mic. I was reading here without the mic on.
Oh yeah, I was saying you need to
Yeah.
unmute. Okay, Mataji, I don't mind. You can go again.
Okay, thank you. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jyayo hya karmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prashidya karmanaha. Perform your prescribed duty. For doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work.
Very nice, Mataji. Very clear and very nice. I'm so happy. All right. So one cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So it is so relevant to us, is it? So we can actually apply this. We can relate to this. So many people have told me that I thought Bhagavad Gita is very, is for sophisticated people, is for very highly scholarly people only can read and understand. But how difficult is this to understand? Krishna is saying you can't maintain your body without work. It's as simple as that. Okay, so perform your prescribed duty. For doing so is better than not working. You should do your duty. Okay, so basically prescribed duties means whatever duty that we are doing based on our current commitment. Parents need to work. We have to take care of the children. Students mean the duty is to study. Wife means they have their own duties. A child will have the duties of taking care of the parents and things like that. So these are all our duties. Okay, we cannot say, no, I attended Gita Gyan. I think I should go and somewhere and retire. I just want to chant 24/7. No. So sorry, that is not the Krishna's instruction. Okay, so now we know Krishna encourages us to do our duty. All right, so what happens if by performing actions, we are becoming bound by those activities? Our work always have reaction, either good reaction or bad reaction. So how do we go around it? All right, so there is a way to go around it. And the way is in 3.9, Kaya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yashnatat karmano nyatra loko yam karma bantana tat artam karma kauntaya mukta sangha samachara. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kundi, perform your prescribed duty for his satisfaction, and in that way you will be always remain free from bondage.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So, who wants to share what is Krishna saying here? How to go around it? Or how do we do the work? Okay, I think I've been speaking pretty long. I hope you don't get bored. So I want somebody to speak. So what do you think Krishna is answering here?
Karma. Choose as sacrifice.
So how do we sacrifice our work? Let's say you're going to office. How do you sacrifice your work for Krishna? What do you think? What do you think Krishna is saying here? Is it the action, or is it the consciousness, or is it the result?
The consciousness that we're doing it for Krishna, that's our prescribed duty.
Yes, remember, I think, was it in this class I was saying, how do you tweak the consciousness? It's when we are doing something, we think that we set our consciousness, I hope you are pleased with this, Krishna. It's like that, I am doing this for you, Krishna. So mentally, we are offering the result to Krishna. Okay, so here Krishna is saying offering prescribed duties or dharma. Okay, the wife has a dharma, the husband has a dharma, a father has a dharma. That is your duty, prescribed duties to Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna without desire for result. Okay, so this is called karma yoga. Is better for Arjuna than premature renunciation of work. Okay, he has the jnana yoga, he has that knowledge, but it has to be applied appropriately. Okay, so another point here is that liberation or bondage, okay, whether you are freeing or whether you are being bound, it's not determined by your activities. So maybe you want to take note that it is not bound by the activities, but it's by our consciousness. I'm doing this work, I need that for me. I deserve that, I want that. So the activity is not binding you, but the consciousness that is attached to your activity is the one that is binding you. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, Prabhu. I need to mute you. Okay. So liberation or bondage is not determined by one's activities, but by one's consciousness in performing those activities. So we have to reflect and see how is our consciousness when we are doing something, right? So renunciation is not actually giving up action. So this part here, we need to be clear already by now, but giving up the attachment to the result of the action. Okay, again, not the attachment to the result. Okay, so it is not about giving up the action, it's giving up the result. All right, so again, what I mentioned earlier, premature renunciation will lead to destruction in spiritual path. Why? Unfulfilled desires will lead to premature renunciation, ultimately to sinful activities. So this is how the flow goes. So we have to understand that. Okay, and so coming back to this verse here, work done as a sacrifice of Vishnu has to be performed. You have to sacrifice the work consciously to Vishnu, otherwise it's going to bind us. Okay, and how exactly the application is given here? Son of Kunti is Arjuna. So Krishna is addressing Arjuna as son of Kunti because the mother is Kunti Devi, right? Perform your duties for his satisfaction. In that way, you will always remain free from bondage. Okay, so these are the two key points here. Okay, so after this, probably after this Gita Gyan, after your realization, the way you go to work and the way other people go to work may be different. Just like this knife. The knife in the hand of a convict, is it good or bad? Is it dangerous? Is it harmful? Yes. How about the knife in the hand of a doctor?
Maybe good, maybe bad.
Oh my God. Why, Prabhu? Why is sometimes bad? Why?
Good.
Generally, yeah, generally speaking.
Depending on his conscious when he's operating, I think.
Some doctors perform abortion, that's why.
Abortion. Okay, but we are speaking generic. Okay, so generally,
Understand.
okay, so in that case, a convict can be a Robin Hood. So we are not bringing in the Robin Hood here. Okay, so we are talking generally. So convict with a knife versus doctor with knife. So what is the difference between these two people?
One takes life and one gives life.
Oh, very nice. Okay, how about the result?
Harmful
Maybe,
and fruitful.
okay, harmful. Oh, come on, yeah, it's nice.
Is it vikarma and karma?
Vikarma and karma. Okay, so how about doing activity but in a different intention? How about that? What kind of result? What will be their end product? What will happen to this guy? What will happen to these people? What will be the result?
One will be convicted, one will be praised.
Yes, this guy will be punished and these people will be rewarded. But they are using the same knife. But that knife in a hand of convict can be harmful because he's doing for his sense gratification. But the knife in the hand of a doctor is selfless because he is saving people's life. Thus, he will be rewarded. So the activity is the same, but what is different here? Activity
The
is the same. Intention, the purpose, the consciousness. Okay, that is different here. Okay, let's take another example. Army with guns. What are they doing? They are killing people, isn't it? Like Arjuna. So how? Abominable ka?
They're defending their country.
All right.
So I guess they're fighting for the nation.
Carrying out their duties.
Carrying out their duties,
Doing
prescribed
instructions.
duties. The soldier cannot go and catch the terrorist and say, hey, come, I save you. Habis. Both also kena pancung. All right. So that means he is failing in his duty. So he cannot say, no, I'm not going to kill the terrorist. No, cannot. It's not like that. Your duty is to do that. versus these people. They are also killing. Can they also claim reward?
Depending on how you see it, because they claim it's a jihad.
Very hard to judge.
Very hard. However, even if they say jihad, even the Muslims are saying that jihad is not applied appropriately, right? So they are also they also terrorize other Muslim countries, if you want to speak technically, right? So generally terrorism is seen as a non-good thing, it's a bad thing. So tell me the result they get respectively.
Reward and punishment.
Okay, so they get punished and they get rewarded. Okay, they get medal, they get recognitions. Even if they die, they get a very grand send-off. All right. What will happen to the terrorists? How will they be punished?
Beheaded.
Imprisoned,
Yeah.
hung.
Imprisoned, hanged, things like that. All right. So the suffering or enjoyment, good karma or bad karma, it may come now or later. It's just a matter of time. Okay. So, but you have to work. So how to work? Work in the consciousness, the right consciousness. So if you do that, then you will not be bound by reaction. These people are also killing, but the reaction will not bind them. The government will not come and imprison them or sentence them or anything. They are not affected by the reactions. That's it. Okay. So if they work as per the rules of government, they are not disturbed. They are not disturbed by the laws of the government. So that's how it is. Okay. All right. So we are entering this part here. Can somebody remember what was Karma Kanda about? What were we relating it to?
Doing an activity to achieve a result.
Yes. And then referring to?
Doing an activity to achieve a result.
Sorry, Mataji, can you be louder?
Karma Kanda is doing an activity to achieve a certain result.
Okay. Based on? Is it guided or not guided?
Guided.
Guided by?
The priest and all that.
Guided by the scriptures.
Very good. Work with desires based on prescription in scriptures. Okay, so let me explain that again. All right. Okay, please mute Mataji, Prabhu. Mute. Okay. Karma Kanda is the section of the Vedas that lists rituals, ceremonies, and actions which then performed lead one to enjoyment and power. So basically, people want to enjoy and they want to get power. So these are the ways that you want to, they are the ways that you want to achieve, then you refer to the Vedas. So Vedas is a handbook. Okay. So long ago, all right, long ago, we are going to jump to 3.14. So before that, okay, 3.14. So before that, Krishna will say this. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures, he's talking about himself, all right, sent forth generations of man and devas, man and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, which means he when he created this material world, he sent the humans and he sent the devas. Devas are the agents that take care of different elements and aspects of material world. All right, so like we have Agom, we have PM, and then we have different cabinets, right? Education, health, water, fire, all that. So he has so many agents for so many elements to take care of the material world. And then he wants to have a very harmonious relationship between humans and the devas. So how that happens is that when humans, they perform yagyas. When they perform yagyas, they do offering to the devas. So when the devas are pleased, they will shower humans with the best basic necessities so that the humans can live happily, all right? So comfortably, all right. So when they are pleased, when demigods are pleased and the humans are also, doing these sacrifices, there are some reciprocations there. Thus, the corporations will prevail. It will be a nice prosperity for all of them. Okay, harmony is basically is about being harmony. Okay, but Krishna will say in text 12 that but those who enjoy without giving back is actually a thief. Right? He will say this, but he who enjoys such gifts, which means whatever the nature is giving them, without offering them to the demigods in return, is certainly a thief. So whatever we take, we have to be grateful and give it back. All right, the art of giving, the culture of giving. Okay, so the devotees of the Lord, they are released from all kind of sins. For example, when we cook, before we eat, we offer to Krishna, we put tulasi, we offer, and we take that as prasadam. So in that way, we are not bound by the karmas, because vegetarian also kill the plants, and we don't know in the cooking process, we don't know how many living entities we are killing. So like I say, even when you're breathing, you are killing living entities. So how to purify our existence? This is an example. Taking prasad is one example. We will talk about this more later on. Okay. So for one who cannot take up this part, which means they can't do all the sacrifices and offerings to Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, for them, the sacrifices to demigod is prescribed in the Vedas. Okay. So that's how we are coming to this verse 3.14. Janani Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyatanna sambhavaha yatnat bhavati parjanyo yatna karma samudbhavaha. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. So when we speak about yagya here, yagya means our prescribed duties. Prescribed duties is a sacrifice that we do for the Lord. All right. So for example, one example of the prescribed duty is yagya. So the yagya will bring rain. All right. And rain brings grains. And then humans eat, food is required. All right. Everyone will agree with this line, right? If no food, we cannot live. All right. So second line as well, food or crops coming from rain. All right, performing yagya will bring rain, rain will bring grain, and we have to give thanks back to the demigods, and then they will give us rain, they will give, we will get grain. So like this, the cycle will be going on like this. So we have to offer something. The devas are providing us with the necessities. We need to give them something. And they will be pleased, and they will continue to give us, they will give us continuously. If not, this is what is happening. Too much rain, too less rain, too much heat, too less heat. This is why this is happening, because yagyas are not done well. Duties are not performed well, adequately. All right. So there are 5 types of sacrifice. I'm just going to run through that quickly. There are sacrifices meant for devas, sages, forefathers like our ancestors, great-grandparents, all that, humans and animals. What kind of sacrifices we do for them? We do fire sacrifice like we mentioned, and sages, we read the scriptures that they wrote. So this is sacrifice we do for them. How about the ancestors? We do pinda or oblations. Humans, we invite people over, we feed them. That is a sacrifice. This is a prescribed duty of a householder. People who are married, they call people and they give food. So this is your duty. Animals, feeding dogs and birds. So this is sacrifice to animals. So it's a good thing, right? We can do a lot of sacrifices in many ways. All right. How many people can afford to do yagya? Not everybody, right? Okay. There is another kind of sacrifice which is recommended, highly recommended for Kali Yuga, is the chanting of the holy name. This is called Sankirtana. Okay, loud chanting, going on the road chanting, or sitting in the house chanting on your beats. So this is a very easy method to do in Kali Yuga. Okay, so I will tell why we are doing this later. Okay. And Krishna will say, Arjuna, if you do not perform your duty, then everybody is going to follow you. Why? This very good leadership quote here in Bhagavad Gita 3.21. Jai Silan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yat yat acharate shreshtas tatat evyataro janana sayat pramananam kurute lokashtat anurvartate. whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
Thank you, Prabhu. So how many of y'all have bosses saying that, do what I say, don't do what I do? Or are we one of those kind of bosses? No, you see, Krishna is giving a leadership training here. You want to have a good follower, you set a good example. When great people follow something, if one person doesn't want to drink Coke, habis the share of the company gone. Okay, so whatever great people or famous people do, the common man will follow. So why Krishna is saying this? Why Krishna is saying this? What is Krishna implying here to Arjuna? Who can tell me? What is the
We must be
application
good
here?
role models.
Okay, so can you be specific, Prabhu? In what way Krishna wants Arjuna to be a good role model? In terms of the war, in terms of him wants to go away.
By performing his
By
duty,
him performing his
fighting,
duties,
All right, okay. What if he doesn't?
he's setting a bad example.
Okay, as in?
It's okay to renounce your duties.
Aha, okay. And then?
he's not doing the correct karma.
He is
He's not performing his karma.
not performing his
If he
duty.
don't do his duties.
All right, okay. What else? Suha, do you want to try? Suha, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to share your thoughts? What do you think Krishna is telling Arjuna here in terms of leadership, setting example? What happens if Arjuna quits the war? What kind of example he's setting? So many Prabhu said that he's showing an example that he's not performing a duty, so it is okay to renounce. So what will happen? So everybody will renounce their duties? Is it like that? Okay, no problem. It's okay. I will give the answer now. It's pretty much what Prabhu has explained. If we flee the battlefield, then others also will flee the battlefield. People will not do their duty. So he has to set a good example. If we perform properly and people who see us highly, they will follow us. So we don't need to be a leader, great leader like Arjuna or Yudhishthira or Krishna. If you are a mother, then you have to set a good example as a mother. If you're the eldest brother or sister in your family, then you have to set the good example. So it applies for everybody. It's not highly sophisticated information that Krishna is giving here. All right. So I understand it's 9:30. Whoever wants to leave, you can carry on. I have a few more slides. I'm going to talk about yugas here. Okay. There are 4 yugas, and every yuga has its dharma, which means each and every yuga has a certain way to achieve God realization, how people perfect their life in the spiritual path. Who knows what are the 4 yugas?
Satya Yuga,
Satya Yuga,
Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga.
Okay, can you put that in the right sequence? Who can? Okay, anyway, it's good enough already. All right, Satya Yuga first, Treta Yuga second, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Actually, Treta Yuga is the third one, but there was something happened, and Treta Yuga comes first and Dwapara later. So in Satya Yuga, how many years people lived for? This is the duration of Satya Yuga. This is the duration of Satya Yuga, but I'm asking, what is the maximum age people lived in Satya Yuga?
is it 10,000 years?
More, Mataji. It's more than that.
100,000.
Yes, 100,000. All right. So you have to reduce it accordingly. In Treta Yuga?
10,000.
10,000. Very good. Dwapara Yuga?
1,000.
1,000. Kali Yuga?
100.
100. But now we can see sometimes it's not, I don't know what is the current demographic average, but towards the end of Kali, I think it will be 35 like that only. All right. So it will be reducing further. All right. So going back to the Yuga Dharma of each Yuga. In Satya Yuga, the way they perfected their life is meditating for a long time, very long time. That's why they lived so long, because the process of meditating is very long. It's not 20 minutes, 10 minutes that we all are doing now. Okay, so that is not actual meditation. So the actual meditation as prescribed by Krishna takes a very long time to perfect it. So naturally, that meditation practice is not applicable in the subsequent yugas. Okay, therefore, in Treta Yuga, the way to perfect their life was performing yagyas, sacrifices. So they had this pure brahmanas, they had pure mantras, pure milk, pure ghee, everything pure. They do sacrifice. They will sometimes they will even sacrifice sick cows or sick horses, and they will rejuvenate it back. Sometimes they perform tests on their purity of their mantras by sacrificing animals to see whether their mantra works or not. But they will bring back the animal. So, and whenever they want to do sacrifice, only certain animal will go in. So it was so strict and so perfect. It was so pure. However, as the age deteriorates to Dwapara Yuga, Yagya was no more the perfection of spiritual path. It becomes elaborate temple worship. This is where you will see all the huge ancient temples came up during this Yuga. Okay, all right. Finally, in Kali Yuga, we don't live that long to do meditation. We don't have such facilities to do this elaborate yagyas, and we cannot obviously build temples and have elaborate temple worships. So the practice that is prescribed for the Kali Yuga, the prescribed duty for Kali Yuga for everybody, is the chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord. Why these activities cannot be practiced in Kali Yuga is because we have these problems. All right. We have problems in facilities, we have problem with time, we don't have time, we don't have space to do them, we don't have money to do them. It's not cheap to do all these things. So does that mean, Mataji, we cannot perfect our life in Kali Yuga? There is one way of doing this sacrifice to please God directly. Okay, so that is called Sankirtana Yagya, sacrifice of the chanting of the holy name. This is a sacrifice. Okay, can we have Kushi Mataji? I'm sorry, Mataji, it's a little late. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parsadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayir Yajanti Sumedasha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions.
All right, thank you, Mataji. So perfect, so nice. All right, so this is a verse not from Bhagavad Gita. This is from another scripture called Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so it is said that in the age of Kali, people will perform congregational chanting, which means group chanting, loud chanting, loud. You can see here in the picture. All right, and they sing the names of Krishna. And it is also mentioned, prophesied, that Krishna will come in the form of, can you see this personality in this yellow color garment? Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 plus years ago. So his appearance, any incarnation of God, has to be prophesied, has to be documented in scriptures well before the time, okay, ahead of the time. So it is mentioned that generally Krishna is blackish, right? It is mentioned clearly that although he is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He's actually golden color. And how he comes, he doesn't come bring his gada, he doesn't bring his Sudarshana chakra like yesterday. Okay, he doesn't go around kill demons. He does not come like that. He comes with his associates, his friends, his servants, his weapons. What is his weapon? is that holy name. The holy name itself is the weapon. Okay, and confidential companions. So he's got very secret, confidential associates. Okay. All right. So why this is important and how does it benefit us in the Kali Yuga compared to the meditation, yajna, and temple worships? This verse from Bhagavatam. Kriteya dhyayato vishnum tretayam yajato makai dvapara paricharyayam kalau tadhari kirtanat. In Krita means Satya Yuga. They do dhyanam. Dhyayato. Dhyayato means dhyanam means meditation. Treta. In Treta, yajato, yagya. Okay. In Dwapara is temple worship. Kalau means Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, it is Hari Kirtana. So this is how we translate the Sanskrit terms here. The translation is this. Whatever result one obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can also obtain in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But the point here is to note that although they've been doing all these practices in the past, it always been accompanied with the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It's the chanting of the holy name has been always be there, okay, to perfect the process. However, in this situation in Kali Yuga, you no need to do any of this. The holy name itself is sufficient. In fact, it is mentioned that the benefit that you derive here is equivalent to this or more. All right, so that is our last slide for today. And this is just a small story saying that it was not at a place, this was during Srila Prabhupada's time. At that place, there was no rain for a long time. So Prabhupada gathered many devotees and disciples. They performed an intense kirtan, and then rain started pouring. All right, and then there was another more recent incident was in Fiji. It was by Tamal Krishna Maharaj. They had very nice kirtan and rain came. All right, it's all the sincerity of the people who takes part in the Sankirtan and how they sing. All right, so if we have drought, then we should sing kirtan and the rain will come. All right, so we also have fun here. There is also music here. There is also dance here. There is also nice prasadam. Just like anybody else, they all go clubbing, drinking, eating. But we also do the same thing here. It's just that these activities are centered around Krishna. Krishna is the center. Okay, so a quick recap. So initially, Arjuna started by asking clarification. What should I do, Krishna? Karma yoga or renunciation? Should I do work or renunciation? Then Krishna says, don't artificially renounce because a premature renunciation will not give any benefit. It will not give you peace or perfection. The perfection is not in renouncing, but by dovetailing all your activities in work for God. Work done as sacrifice for Vishnu will not cause bondage. Okay, which means we should not be attached to the result. We offer the result. Okay, what is the example of the performing prescribed duties we covered today? What is the example? Prescribed duties example. Remember the grain. What was that? Anybody there?
Fire sacrifice for rain.
Yes, prescribed duty is performing sacrifices. And then what did we cover? Sacrifices for, yes, very nice. Different sacrifices for different yugas. Okay, so what was the prescribed duty for Satya Yuga?
Meditation.
Yes. Treta
Long
Yuga.
meditation.
Performing sacrifices.
Yes. Dwapara Yuga.
Temple worship.
Temple worship. The best yagya for Kali Yuga.
Chanting.
Of the holy name.
Loud chanting. All the religions now, they are doing that. Okay, you see Muslim, they also carry their chanting beads with them. They also chant. The Christians also have chanting on their rosary beads. The Buddhists also do that. So you can see that is a similarity. So there's something about it, something about chanting the holy name in Kali Yuga. Why all the religions are doing that? Because it is the prescribed duties for Kali Yuga. Okay, so what is liberation or reaction? Is it due to the activities or the consciousness? What is
The
this about?
consciousness.
The consciousnness. So the liberation or bondage is not due to the activity that we do, but it is the consciousness of how we do that activity. What kind of conscious is that? What kind of
Krishna
conscious? Okay, which means not attached to
Results.
Yes, it's not attached to the results or surrendering the result to God. Right, so that's the key. Okay, so can I know if anybody interested to get this kit or you already have it? Can I get a show of hands who's planning to get it now?
I already have it, Mataji.
Oh, you have it. Okay. How about the rest?
I also already have the book.
Oh, you have already. Okay. All right. So do the quizzes. Okay, that is a qualification to get the cert. Attendance, please ensure that's 80%. Okay. Do catch up on the recording if you missed. So I will stop here. Any questions for today? So chapter 2 and chapter 3 usually a little technical chapter. So usually I will overshot. Okay, so hopefully tomorrow I will finish on time. Any questions or?
Sorry, got some small question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just to clarify, previously you said when they do the meditation and the yagyas, everything, they still do the chanting, right?
Yes.
And what do they chant?
It's Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or any holy names that they chant. Sometimes it's Om Namo Narayana or Om Namo Bhagavate, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
I
Right.
see. I was
So
a bit confused because Krishna only came in the current Kali Yuga, right?
Okay, so that is a general concept that people think that Krishna is one of the avatar of Lord Vishnu. But in Bhagavatam, it has been mentioned that Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So when he comes, the avatar comes from him. But when he comes in Kali Yuga, he comes as himself. So this information is in Bhagavatam. Okay, and when Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga, he propagated the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
I see. Understand. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. Any other questions? Also quiet, don't want to be camera ready. Okay, Matajis and Prabhus. Hare Krishna, good night.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.